this class, we'll discuss about what do you mean by para jumble. Let us dive into this topic here. So here in this topic, that is a para jumble. So first of all, what you need to understand is you have to understand how the questions are framed. Here, if you look at this one here, that is normally a para jumble is basically another form or the name for sentence rearrangement, or we can call this one as a para jumble. Okay, so this just another name for this. Here, if you look at this one here, that is a para jumble here. This is basically used to test the credibility, or what we can say, the candidate's ability to understand. Look at here, coherence, first point, logical flow, second point, and its connectors and pronoun referencing and theme development, all these points. Okay, so first of all, they are testing your coherence. Coherence means, are you able to understand the logic? Coherence means basically the able to flow. Okay, coherence means so what they are trying to say and what you are trying to understand. So that logic are you able to establish? First point. Then logical flow connectors. Logical flow connectors means basically what do you mean by logical flow connectors? So means, so if this happens, then next thing will happen. Then subsequent thing will happen, like the consecutive. So a subsequence, or you can say sequence, are you able to follow? Then pronoun referencing means, pronoun reference means first initially in the very beginning sentence, generally what we do is we talk about the noun. Then after that, whenever the noun is repeating, so we have to use the pronoun. So that reference are you able to follow. Likewise, a theme development. So overall, the complete what the generally you are able to say, or what the author is trying to convey, are you able to follow what the author is able to say? So those things generally is discussed in para jumble. So for this sake, what you have to do is this is basically the, if you look at the model question papers, they are generally 5 marks questions. So generally they are appear in main prelims and main exams. So if you look at the patterns, basically the patterns, okay. So the first pattern will be like this, okay. So you'll be given something like a 4 to 5 sentences which will be given, and you are supposed to rearrange it, okay. So first sentence is which one, second sentence is which one, and third sentence is which one, like that you are supposed to rearrange. So if you rearrange this one here, so you have to understand it will be like this, a 4 sentence or 5 sentence, something like that. So if to do this task, okay, so to do this task, what you should do is you should follow like this, okay. Rearrange the sentence and such a way that you form a theme. Rearrange the theme. So this is the right word, okay, to form a meaningful and coherence paragraph, okay. So once you make some sentence, so the sentences here are, they are not arranged in a regular fashion, they are individually, like piece by piece. Now you have to bring it and then make it in such a way that they are in right order, okay. So to do this one here, so what you should do is here, first of all, read all the points, all the pieces. He got up early in the morning. He went for a walk. The birds were chirping. The sun was rising. Okay. So all these 4 events in this example are individual events. They don't have any connection. Okay. But if you try to think properly, you will see that he got up early in the morning. So he got up now. So when he got up early in the morning, okay, so then only he can go for a walk. Okay. So what will happen here? So this A is the first event. So for example, then only you can go for B. Okay. So before walking, so he went for a walk and he got up early in the morning. So that sentence will not come, right? So naturally, after A, then only the event B will happen. Okay. So that is established now. That's one logic here. Okay. The birds were chirping and the sun was rising. Okay. So when would the birds usually chirp? The birds generally chirping. Okay. So normally hen generally when it will actually say cock, the sound, when it will say is that here normally after the sunset, just before the sunset. So that is different. So birds were chirping and the sun was rising. Okay. So when the sun was rising, okay. So what do you mean by that here? So after the sun rises, then only the bird would chirp, right? So that is generally the meaning, logical meaning, right? So that would be the logical meaning here. Okay. So he got up early in the morning, then the sun was rising. Okay. So like this, so if you make this event one by one, so he went for a walk. So you can eliminate this walk here after all the rest of the events, right? So maybe in between all these things, so after walking only the sun was rising. So that is not the right way. Okay. So we can say like this. So what is this one is A can be classified as the first one. A can be the beginning sentence. Okay. So when A is beginning sentence, okay, so he got up early in the morning. Okay. Then we can write like this. The sun was rising is not, so the sun rises at the time is very long time. Okay. This is very long time. So you need to make it very short time here. Okay. So that the short time will be here. Yeah. So this is the short term. This event is a very long event, but the shortest event is this one, right? So A, B, this one, okay, and then the sun we can write like this. So then the sun was rising, then he went for a walk. So after the sun has rise, so after the sunrise, he went for a walk. That's somewhat meaningful sentence here. Okay. So like this, you need to understand the combinations here. Okay. So that coherence is what generally they're asking. Coherence one, and also you have to make a meaning here. So like this, you try to do some examples. So this is the first model. Okay. So in this first model, generally what they're asking you is, they're asking generally to the daily event logical flow. So the daily event logical flow will be like this. So if there won't be the, you can clearly say B cannot start in the beginning. Okay, B is not at all first one. Okay, that is the first one. So B cannot be the first one. Then, and the sun was rising can be first one. Then the birds were chirping cannot be the first one. Okay, so the C cannot be first one. Okay, so C cannot be first one. The only A and D can be the first one. So the sun was rising, he got up early in the morning. So the sun was rising is a, what is this? It is a continuous tense. Okay, so he got up early in the morning is a past tense. Okay, so this is a past tense, means it's already happened. This, he got up. So this past tense here. So that past, you can connect it to the present here, present continuous. So the sun was rising is a present continuous. Okay, so that you can connect into this D. Okay, so the logical flow will be only this model. A, C, A, B would be the right model here. Then the next one is fixed opening or closing sentence. So what do you mean by this fixed opening or closing means here, if you look at this model here, one sentence will be fixed. Maybe the opening sentence or closing sentence. So here in this case, the statement A is in first sentence. So they gave the statement. Okay. So they gave statement means, so it has been fixed. So for this, you need to understand the 2 points here. That is a subject verb agreement. Subject verb agreement. Okay. So always any sentence will start with the subject. So naturally that would be a noun. Okay. Then if it is not a noun, say for example, it is not a noun. So at least for this noun, there will be article, no? Article. So the article will be maybe anything, but the article will generally be with the starting sentence. So it will be capital letter, or starting sentence is a capital letter. Starting sentence is based on sentence usually starts with a capital letter. That point to keep in mind. Okay. So the internet has revolutionized communication. So we cannot do this anything here. So the first sentence is basically fixed. That is a capital letter. That is a capital letter. I mean, here it started with a noun. The noun is the internet. Okay. So here, yeah. Now this is fixed here. This point is fixed. So now what will happen here? Emails are faster than traditional letters. You can send the messages instantly. It has changed the way to connect. Has changed the way. Okay? You can send the messages instantly. So that is basically the result. This sentence is basically the result. Okay, emails are faster than traditional letters. Okay, so this is basically the outcome. Then it has changed the way we connect. So this is basically the connection. So what we can call this connection as a. So for the first statement, the internet has revolutionized communication. So this is a given statement. This is basically, what is this one? Is a cause. For this cause, this is the effect. Okay, so this is the cause and this is the effect. Because of this effect, you have the outcome and final result. So that would be, so this can be the way. A, then cause and effect. So effect is it has changed the way we connect. AD. Okay, then because of this effect, there is an immediate outcome. Immediate outcome here is emails are faster than. Okay, this is the immediate outcome. Then this would be the final. So see, you can send the messages instantly. So that is the final result. So like this, you can identify the meaning and then, okay. So here one advantage for you is here this is fixed. Sometimes it will be the end also will be fixed. Okay, these logics are like opening and closing statements. So in a opening and closing statements, so you will have like this. Okay, so what to say, start point and finish point or close point. Start, close or finish. Okay, so first you identify these two. Once you identify these two, in between how many sentences are there, that actually you can play with that. You can easily identify. So if you keep more number of points, number of sentences for a rearrangement, it will be very tough. So first you identify the first one, start one, and identify the end or closing statement. Then you'll be left over. So two sentences will be over for you. Okay, then whatever the leftover, so that leftover actually you can rearrange that sentences and then you can play with that. So that's a very simple way of finding it out. So in this model is such type of model. Then odd sentence out. In this case, odd sentence out. Yeah, so this is basically you will be given a sentences where 5 to 6 sentences will be given and one item will not be to the basic thing. One item will not be to the basic. So that one is your task is started. So look at the answers here. Examples: the tiger is a fierce predator. They're talking about tiger. It hunts mainly at night. So it means the tiger. Here the hero is tiger. It is tiger. Why it is tiger? So it is a word used for third person singular. Third person singular. Usually it is referred for dogs, animals, etc. Why it is referred to? It is referred as animals or this, because this it is basically not a neuter gender. So it is basically this has this gender is a neutral gender. Okay, it's not a neuter gender. Okay, so neuter gender is different and neutral gender is different. Okay, so please refer to that topic which we had discussed about nouns video. So there we discussed about that. Okay, so here it is referred for a dog in case of a pronoun. So now it also here it hunts mainly at night. So it is basically referred to the tiger. First part. Tigers are mostly found in Asia. So we are talking about tigers here also in this sentence. Apple launched its new iPhone model. So here this is entirely different sentence. They are solitary animals. So where they means what? They is tigers. So here Apple launched its new iPhone model. So this sentence is a very, very odd sentence which does not match to it. So D is the answer here. Likewise, D will be the answer. So like that, here example that I have taken is a very simple example. In exam, it will not be like that. You have to identify very carefully to find out the odd man out. Okay. Now, next one is two-part fillers. So this two-part fillers means what is this two-part fillers? So generally, two statements or three statements generally are broken into two parts. Okay, and what you have to do is that you should rearrange it. So that part, if you look at here, so the climate is changing rapidly and glaciers are melting, resulting in rising sea levels, which may affect the coastal region. So if you look at these models here, the climate is changing rapidly, resulting in rising sea levels, and glaciers are melting, which may affect the coastal regions. So all this, if you look at the combinations, okay, so all these combinations are right combinations here. So so which is the right combination? So that you need to identify. So to identify that right combination, first of all, you make some arrangement like this: 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so in the first part, write down like this: A, B, C, D, and then read the sentence. Okay, the climate is changing rapidly and glaciers are melting, resulting in rising sea levels, which may affect the coastal region. So here, this is somewhat like it looks like right answer. Now what you do is you go for the next one: A, B, D, C. Okay, so the climates are changing and the climate is changing rapidly and glaciers are melting, which may affect coastal regions, resulting in rising sea levels. So this is also right. Okay, somewhat feeling just okay. So like this, if you try to arrange this one, you can make these arrangements so several number of times. Okay, but if you look at properly here, okay, look at the last words: rapidly, okay, and beginning sentence, and melting, resulting levels, which region. Okay, so based on that, you try to connect. Okay, so rapidly resulting. So rapidly resulting. So rapidly is what? It's an adjunct. So it's basically, so changing, the climate is changing rapidly. So it's basically what to say, the climate is changing rapidly will be the whatever the word. Okay, so here, and the glaciers are melting. So and is basically preposition and glaciers are melting. Okay, so here melting is basically glaciers are melting. So here melting, right? This is a verb plus melt is a verb plus ing, so this becomes a gerund, right? So this is gerund, right? So he ran faster, he ran fastly. Here the climate is changing, the climate is changing rapidly, so this becomes an adverb. No, if you are unable to understand anything, just try very first try to do this exercise in your own mind, and then try to solve it. Okay, the climate is changing. Okay, so is a verb and this is basically ing, so this becomes an object. The climate is a subject. Okay, so naturally this is a sentence. So this sentence is a right sentence. So till here this is the article, so this sentence is a right sentence. So this is an adverb. So now this is the right way of starting a sentence. Okay. So A is the right way of starting a sentence. So A is fixed now. Now next sentence is and so this is up till here it is closed. No. So this is completely one sentence and you cannot. So for this sentence there is no continuation. And so there is no continuation means what is the meaning? There will be some other sentence for this. So means you need to do connect something. No. And is the only option here. And is the only option. So and B. And glaciers are melting. Glaciers are melting. So this is a subject. This is the verb. And this is a gerund. So this becomes an object. Okay. So B is also in a right position. Now the only problem here is this one. C and D. Melting, which may affect the coastal regions, resulting in rising sea level. So if you look at the tenses here, so if you look at tense format, resulting in rising sea levels, which may affect the coastal regions. So this is the right format. So it's in right order, in this order. Like that you have to add. So basically, this is not about making the grammatically correct. You have to make the meaning, that theme, everything meaningfully the right answer. So that is also you have to look into picture. So if it is not possible, at least to make some arrangements. So some arrangement, you will see that you can eliminate some arrangement elimination and then find out 4 or 5 sentences will come. So that 4 or 5 arrangements in that right sentence, just try to look at the answers. And then if that combination is available in the answer, that you bubble it. That's one way. Then this one here, theme-based or story-based Para Jumble. So in theme-based, story-based Para Jumble, here the sentence generally narrates a story. Okay. So narrates a story means the sentence, all these sentences have a storyline. Okay. So in this storyline, what is basically the first start point, finish point, all those things you need to identify. As I said just before also, here, if you look at here, the fixed opening and closing sentences here. So in the fixed opening and closing sentence, what you did, you have to identify the start point, you have to identify the end point. Okay. Then you can actually solve it. So likewise here also same thing you can. So this is, but in this case, this is a story. So in a story, what would happen? In a story, normally, always the sentence starts with a capital letter, first point. The second point will be, the sentence always starts with a subject. Okay, so that's one point. So subject is what here? You just look at the answer, all the answers here. So you cannot actually start with a sentence, he picked, because why he picked? He is a pronoun, no? He is a pronoun. He is a he is a pronoun. Okay. So when he is a pronoun, so it cannot start with the first sentence. So A is not at all first. That point we have understood now. Then suddenly is there. So suddenly is also not a first sentence. Okay, that is also fixed. Then the doctor advised immediately hospitalization, means it's basically look like the sentence is basically the result. Okay, so here this is also not a first answer. Then look at the last one. Mr. Verma was cooking in the kitchen. This is the first point. Leftover is the first. So always you have to find out the first one here. So first one I have identified D. D is the right answer here. First one. Then looking at answers, just you will be seeing that there itself we can actually eliminate 2 or 3 answers. Okay. So because the sentence is going to start with D. So if it anything answer that is there in the choice which is not D, there itself we can eliminate all those rest of the answers. Then what happens here? Was cooking in the kitchen. Then what happened? He picked up the phone and called the doctor. No, the doctor. So suddenly his son fainted. So why he picked up the phone? He picked up the phone is as a result of something. This is the effect. What was the cause? Cause was, you had to identify here, his son fainted. So this is the only possible cause from the sentence, right? So this is the cause. So that's the reason why he phoned. If his son did not his son didn't faint, he would not he wouldn't call the doctor, right? So suddenly his son fainted. So the second will be DB, and the third is obviously A. Okay, DB. Then the fourth one will be the doctor advised him immediate hospitalization. Okay, so that is a C, like this. Okay, so this is the only possible way. D, B, A, C. So now try to read the sentence here. Mr. Verma was cooking in the kitchen. Suddenly his son fainted. He picked up the phone and called the doctor. The doctor advised immediate hospitalization. Now this is basically making some meaning. So, and also you can see the chronology, cause and effect. Okay, whatever the process idea, whatever it is. So this flow is basically looking good here in this case. So this way we have to solve the problem here. So this is another model here in case of a para jumble. If you look at this para jumbles here, so basically what are the key strategies? So strategies means basically how to start the sentence. So it's basically you are not you are not doing something like English grammar, like more of a thinking, but instead you are identifying the theme. So for this theme, generally there is some logic to follow. So what is logic to follow? Means first thing you need to do is identify the opening statement. So when you to identify the opening statement, there are some certain set of rules. Like just before also we have seen. So it always starts with a noun, right? Why? Always the sentence starts with a subject. Okay. So subject, verb, object. Okay. So subject here itself is in this problem is a Verma. Okay, so last one will be the sentence, last one will be something. Okay, but anyway, here because of that reason, you have to you will be able to see that actually it will never start with the pronouns. So avoid starting this more pronouns. Okay, like he, she, it, this, unless it is already introduced. Okay, so that is one case. First, so that is just one idea. Okay. Now, the second point is look some logical connectors, which you can say chronology, chronological order, okay, casual words and contrasting words. So like this word, so then, after, next, because, therefore. So these are actually, there will be a cause and there will be effect in between this, chronological words, casual words, contrasting words generally will be there. So that you can actually use it and then make a connection. Then sometimes you have to see paired sentences. So what do you mean by paired sentences? Sometimes there will be something cause and effect, or some pairs also will be there. Okay, so the question, answer, so like that, statement and example, like that. So that also you have to identify. Okay, then use pronouns and articles wherever that after the sentence you have to put it in which order. So that also you have to identify. Okay, then like this. Okay, so indicating this, that, all this. So sentence starting with the he, so like that. Okay, so and also last point but not the least point, identify the conclusion. Conclusion is result, final result. Okay, so final result, look at here, the doctor advised him immediately hospitalization. So this is basically the result. Okay, result, cause, effect, result. Likewise, just before also we have seen some some result, something like that. Yeah, like this. Okay, one model we have seen opening statement, closing statement, the cause and effect. Okay, outcome. So some result, final result after that. Okay, some verdict, something like that. So likewise you can do that. Okay, so this identify the final conclusion. The final conclusion will be generally the last sentence. So like this is one mod. This is just a strategy. Okay, and keeping this point in mind, when you're preparing for this any bank exam or any competition exams, so please keep the point in mind. So you just try as many samples as possible for banking, economy, technology, innovation. So some environment and climate, social issues, inspiration stories, short narratives. So if you go through, generally the questions generally comes under this category itself, not any other topics. Okay, so be careful and then read some newspapers. So in the newspapers, always I encourage the students to read editorial columns. So in editorial columns, these models, these topics generally will be mostly covered. So that's the reason why I encourage that. Okay, and keeping these points, all these points in mind, let me give a conclusion here. So to conclude this, so the para jumbles are, we can say that sentence rearrangement. So that's the right word, sentence rearrangement. So in a sentence rearrangement, you need to, so there is not too much of a grammar points, but a logical flow and also this coherence. So that is where generally the test is. So, but it is there for both the prelims and mains, and you have to prepare that accordingly. So I hope you understood the concept of para jumbles. We'll meet again. Until then, thank you. Please do subscribe to this YouTube channel. Please do press the bell icon, share it and subscribe it, and let your friends know that this channel. Bye.